Welcome to Blood, Guts, and Booze.
I'm Olivia.
And I'm Kendrah. This is a paranormal and true crime podcast here to frighten you and make you question the world that we live in. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into this. Listener discretion is advised, as these podcasts are not for the faint of heart, nor are they PG.
Welcome back, everybody. Week 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. How's your October going, Kendrah?
It's going pretty good, I think, so far.
Know what you're being for Halloween yet?
A parent to a tiny human who is being a Minecraft character. Yeah.
I'm going to be a witch, like always.
That does not surprise me.
I also have a surprise for you when we record our Halloween episode.
Are you going to be dressed up?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Maybe I will also try and wear something and then we can...
It's cozy. Like, it's a cozy dress-up item.
Well, maybe I'll come dressed up too and we can send our fans a picture.
Yes. I think you're going to like mine. It's funny.
I think you're going to like mine. The one that I have in mind now.
Anyways, guys. So yeah, week 4. And I'm going to start off this week with kind of a well-known case. But Kendrah, do you know Case Hollow?
I do not.
Good. Then you're really going to be fascinated with this case because I'm dipping my toes a smidge into your territory this week.
Stop it. You're not allowed. Ever. I'm just kidding.
But I did not do an extensive background on this subject, specifically this one small little part, because I thought, I know when you do, well, 2 specific cases, this stuff could get mentioned again.
Okay.
So, no, I'm not telling you until it happens, because I want you to be surprised.
Ugh. Will you tell me during the episode what the 2 cases are?
Of course.
Okay.
You'll find out during the episode. I was going to
say, tell me today or I'm going to stab you.
I'm not going to tell you until it happens.
Fine.
So Case Hollow is located in Kaysville, Utah, in the United States of America. Hello, America. How are our fans doing down there?
I think this is our first Utah case.
I think it is. And it probably won't be your last, because there's a lot of spooky shit that happens in Utah.
Plus, I got the Mormons, like, you know, that big old church with Jeff's Warren. That's Utah.
Yeah, you're gonna like this case.
Oh, did I get one?
No.
Darn.
But you got, like, the religion part right.
Well, that's a Utah case that I do have plans to cover. Just saying.
So, inside Case Hollow, which is basically a giant wooded forest, right? There is a giant cemented cross.
Okay.
It is known as Case Cross. It sits roughly 20 feet tall by 13 feet wide.
Okay.
Big boy.
Thick boy.
Very thick boy. It is also most known for being haunted and a popular cult hangout spot.
Oh my god, I love cults.
Yep.
I love them so much. I should do another one.
Yes, please. Because I love cults too. I think so. 1 or 2.
Heaven's Gate. Did I do any more? I don't think I've
We'll
covered
check
another one
after.
yet. I do have one coming up, though. That's the only one, but I do have one coming up.
Ooh.
Very soon. And I think you're going to like which one it is.
Yes. Well, 11 days after you were born, Kendrah, Kay's cross was taken out by explosives. Which was February 15th, 1992.
Now everyone knows my birthday and how old I am.
You old fart.
30 soon.
Some locals believe that the cross exploded because it could not contain the evil that was inside of it anymore.
Oh.
But what most likely happened was people set off explosions.
Like a bunch of dicks?
Yeah. Because it looks like there were bombs of some sort or dynamite surrounded at the bottom of it. And that's what it looks like. But there was also a house on the property, and it had the original owners residing in it.
Neat.
And it was set on fire by some assholes.
Ugh.
And it killed 3 of the family members inside of the house, 2 of them being children. And some people believe the people who burned down the house are the people that blew up the cross and were Satanists.
This reminds me of another case, but I know that it's not it, because the case I'm thinking of happened around Christmas time. The Sodder family.
Oh.
Have you heard of them?
I have, but I don't.
A family's house was burned down, and a couple of the children died in it, but 3 of them survived. It just somehow reminded me of them.
Well, this was like a family of 4, and 3 of them died kind of thing. But the culprits behind this, like the culprits behind the explosion and the fire are unknown. Like, it's a cold case.
Oh.
In 2013, the area gained popularity and interest as a ghost tour took over in the woods.
Okay.
Occult rituals have been performed inside of these woods in the spot where Kay's cross is located.
So is the cross still there?
The remains are.
Okay.
Like, I sent you a link today and said there were pictures on there for our Instagram page. And you will see in those pictures the remains of the cross when you open that link.
Okay.
So, it's basically just like a chunk of cement in the ground with bars.
Okay.
Now, we're going to get into more of the legend real quick, or legends behind Kay's Cross. The land that Kay's Cross sits upon also used to be owned by a polygamous family.
Utah. So Utah.
One day this man had killed One day this man killed 7 of his wives.
Jeez.
And buried 6 of them around the cross in a circle.
Oh.
And 1 was left and buried upright in the position at the base of the cross.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. And her heart was in the center of the cross. Yeah.
Oh.
He then went so fucking crazy after that, he decided to hang himself from the cross due to his horrific crimes.
Oh.
Yup. Now,
is that what
this
you meant
was
by the dipping into true crime?
No.
Oh,
no.
Because that's
there's
true crime.
more. I know, but there's more. That's just like a legend. Ooh. You're gonna be like, oh shit. Don't look.
Here, I'll take my glasses off.
Okay.
Then I literally cannot see anything on your screen.
Because I just want you to be so shocked by some of this.
I can't see anything.
So, all this kind of started gaining popularity and stuff, right? And all these legends started happening in, like, the 80s. And that's when satanic panic was really starting to take a huge lift in the world.
You saying that makes me think of somebody.
And the legends also include the cross being used for sacrifices and other cult rituals.
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
Satanic cults, are not... satanic cults at paranormal hotspots are nothing new in Utah. They're very, very common. Mm-hmm. And so what the truth actually is behind the cross is there was a polygamous and a religious cult. And there were also odd ties to Charles Manson.
Knew it. As soon as you said satanic panic and like that, I was like, oh my God.
But there's another
Manson.
one, and you're going to be like... And you're probably not going to seen it coming just yet.
But my brain was like trying to tell me that it couldn't be Manson because I'm like, that was in LA, Not Utah.
But you'll see.
Or was it Utah?
It was not Utah, but you'll see where the connection kind of comes in.
I was like, it was LA that he had his ranch, right?
It was in California, yeah.
Yeah, that's
yeah, that's it.
Sorry, that's the state, California.
Yes.
US, what are you?
California, I believe, and California and Utah touch, I think. I'm not sure. You fucking weirdo. Creepy noises. So, the arms of the cross had scriptures imprinted on them and a glass coating over top.
That sounds very pretty.
Yeah, there was a K imprinted to the top of the cross. What do you think it stands for? What do you think it stands for?
Is that why it's called K's Cross?
No. It stands for Kendrah. You're a prophet. Did you know?
I'm starting a fucking cult right now.
It was said...
You know what my cult's going to be about?
SpongeBob?
No. You know what it's going to be about?
Peppa Pig.
Chernobyl black-eyed children.
Oh my God. You fucking weirdo.
No, it would be about murdering people. Duh.
Your typical cult.
And having multiple wives, but I would have the multiple wives. Because why not just completely
be
different?
I think Ron would be okay with that.
I think he would be too, as long as
That's
he also got to be with them wives.
That's a lot of titties.
Topless. That's a rule.
Oh, it's like when we go to the strip clubs. It's been a long time.
Who doesn't like titties?
Right. And in Canada...
Women are beautiful.
And in Canada, they go completely naked. Just perks of being in Canada.
And in Canada, it is illegal for a woman to walk around with no shirt or bra on.
It is, yeah.
You never really see it, but it's legal.
It is legal.
I could go do it right now if I wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, you could.
Anyways, what does the K stand for?
It was said to stand for the word kingdom.
Okay.
But I will kind of answer that question in a minute, okay? What the actual meaning is.
Why ask me if you're not going to give me the answer?
No, it's okay. I wanted you to guess. And I wanted to play you on the prophet stuff. So
I was going to guess a person's name, honestly.
Well, it's not quite a name, but it's, I was going to say a word, but that doesn't really fucking help you either way, so, because they're all words.
And your whole computer's blurry right now, so, I mean, that works.
So, backtracking a little bit, K's Cross was built in 1946 by a local man, Merlin Kingston.
Is that what the K stands for?
Hold on. You ready?
Can't get me all excited.
The land has been in the Kingston family since the early-ish 1900s. And the Kingston family, they were well-known polygamist in the area.
Oh. Was the polygamous man that murdered his wives a Kingston?
Nope.
Oh.
And
That's weird. A weird little coincidence.
Doesn't stand for Kingston either.
The fuck? Stop it.
So the reason there's a K is it's a word that this specific person says a lot. Okay? So Merlin had an admiration for a local religious leader, Krishnaventa.
Like Krishna from...
Or Krishnaventa.
Like Hindi, kind of?
Well,
With the 7 arms or whatever? Krishna?
that I'm not sure.
Okay.
That I did not find out. But the cross was built in honor of Krishna.
Uh-huh.
I spelled his name wrong numerous times in here. Wow. Krishna.
Krishna is a woman.
So the K actually stands for the word kingdom. Oh, wait, no, that's what we said first, right? Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. I fucked up.
Well, I can't tell that you fucked up. I can't correct you. Tell me when I'm allowed to put my glasses on. Okay?
Okay.
Then I can stop having a headache.
I lied. The K does stand for kingdom. I fucked up earlier in my notes.
You trickster!
Ha ha!
Halloween pranks!
Ha! Trick or treat, motherfuckers. I'm just a dumbass.
You're a boob. Speaking of boobs.
I'm a teat. Anyways, Krishna used that. He used kingdom a lot in his speeches and lectures that he would say to his followers.
Sorry, smoker's cough.
Now, who is Krishnaventa?
Yes, do tell me.
So, he established a cult in the 40s and 50s known as the WKFL, Wisdom, Knowledge, Faith, and Love, Fountain of the World cult.
A cult I haven't heard of. And I have a book of cults.
This is interesting. Point Olivia. He believed he was the second coming of our homeboy, JC.
Aren't they all?
And he had hundreds of people join his cult. Like, he recruited a lot of people.
See, my cult, I won't be Jesus.
Why not?
Because I am not a man.
Will you be Lilith?
From Supernatural?
Just Lilith in general. It's a woman.
No.
Why? She's badass.
I'm gonna be Mary Magdalene. She's a prostitute. Then I can have multiple wives, you know?
You're so funny.
I know, right?
Now, here's where it gets a little confusing. His real name is Francis Penkovich.
Of course.
Yep. He was born in San Fran in 1911.
Okay.
Ooh, I think that's the same year as Edward Cullen. Still on that Twilight kick. I hate myself.
You should.
I hate myself a lot. Thought about reading the books, and I really hate myself. But they're in a box packed away, so don't you worry.
I've never read them.
They're actually okay. Not the best.
You know what's a decent set? The
I
Hunger
always
Games.
skip New Moon because I hate it. Yeah.
Hunger Games was a good series. If you ever want to read those.
Alice in Zombieland is a really good series.
You've told me that. Also, I have all the Game of Thrones books if you ever want to read those.
Hated the show. So he had even sent a threatening letter to the U.S. president once, which was Roosevelt.
Oh! Decent president.
Yeah. Hopefully that's the right president at the right time and it wasn't earlier than that, but you know what I mean? Earlier in life, who knows? Hopefully. In 1941, he was shown his ID stating he was an MD on a family trip to Alaska, and he brought their secretary with him.
Was he banging her?
He was also not a doctor at all.
Oh!
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he was banging her at this time, but records actually show his occupation was a writer.
Okay.
And it's hard to find records showing if he actually completed high school and or college.
Oh.
In 1944, Francis and his wife filed for divorce as he was cheating on his wife.
With the secretary?
Yeah, fun fact. He married his secretary the second his papers were finalized. So scandalous.
So scandalous. Close my eyes because without my glasses I have a headache.
Oh, you can put them back on.
Well, I don't want to peek.
It's okay.
I will just make sure I look down. So I'm not ignoring you, but I don't want to peek. And I always read your stuff while you're saying things out of habit. I don't know why.
I normally just stare at the screen, and then sometimes if I catch where you are, I'm like, oh, this is where she's reading, and I follow along with the words as you say it.
See,
and then
I read fast.
Sometimes I lose it.
I read about 3 times as fast as you talk. So while I'm listening to you, I will be about 6 paragraphs ahead of you.
I can't read that fast.
But not on purpose. It's like my eyes glance over there and I've read a paragraph. And I'm like, oh no.
They lived in Salt Lake City, and in 1945...
Hey! That's where Elizabeth Smart was from.
Ooh. In 1945, he was recruited to the Army Medical Corps, but was soon returned in 1946.
Because he wasn't a fucking doctor?
Probably. And at this point, he started going by Krishnaventa.
Oh.
He started being a traveling lecture hall minister. And he was doing free lectures to the citizens of America.
So,
But
godlike of him.
He would offer private classes of $50. And on that link that I told you to check out with the cross as well, there is a picture of the flyer he would hand out about with his lecture.
Oh my god, I love it.
And it was before he had long hair. Because he's got short hair because he had just come back from, being in the war.
Did he grow with that long ass hippie hair?
It is long as hippie hair.
Nice.
In 1946, he became fascinated by Mormonism.
Ugh.
Especially
Typical Utah.
Especially the Melchizedek.
Sure.
I apologize if I pronounced that wrong.
Can I attempt it without
Yeah.
saying things?
You should be okay.
Make sure.
Yeah.
Where am I?
Right here.
Melchizedek.
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 Melchizedek. Melt his deck. All right. In 1947, he legally changed his name to Krishnaventa. And when the WKFL decided to leave Utah, he and around 100 of his followers headed for California. They resided on 25 acres or so in California, where they had a small little community.
Oh, is this where Manson comes in?
You'll find out in a second.
Shit, goddamn.
The members walked barefoot and in extremely flowy robes. It was a non-violent community that didn't associate with the outside world much. And they helped victims in a plane crash nearby on their property.
Well, that's nice.
They would perform plays as well that the locals were invited to watch. Krishna had a 10-day arrest for not paying child support to his ex-wife.
What a dick.
He explained the money wasn't just his, it belonged to everybody in the community because it was not a cult, a charity.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? But yet this motherfucker was a known gambler and would take frequent trips to Vegas. Mm-hmm. He had also taken...
Went up to Nevada.
Oh, yeah. Another hotspot for cryptids. Ooh. He had also taken a trip to London and Rome, hoping to meet the Pope. Yeah.
Okay.
Krishnaventa lived an extremely comfortable life for a man with no money. In 1958, the WKFL disbanded due to Krishna being murdered by 2 of his cult members.
Oh, shit!
They were tired of the lies and found out he was sleeping with their wives. Oh my god, I fucking rhymed.
You were a poet and you didn't even know it.
Mom spaghetti.
He opened a restaurant called Mom Spaghetti.
I know I want to try it.
Me too.
So these husbands took matters into their own hands. They first confronted Krishna, trying to catch him on a hidden recorder, admitting his guilt. When the plan failed, they decided there was only one other way to get rid of him, to kill him. So they walked up to him with a bag of bombs and took Krishna and 7 others out with them. And they completed this as a suicide bombing.
Oh.
And some of the members that had passed were women and children because they were way too close to the explosion. In 1968, Charles Manson and some of his members would occasionally stay at the community area where the ex-WKFL members continue to live.
Oh, is that the connection?
Mm-hmm. They also knew Krishna and Charles Manson knew each other beforehand as well.
Maybe that's where he kind of got his idea for his cult.
They actually said that in the one YouTube video I watched.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Which is why I didn't want to go too much into it, because I knew whenever you would cover the Manson family, you'd probably go into that.
That's one of those later ones, because he's one of, the big 5. You know?
They eventually all left the community as they were scared out by the Manson family. I get it. Krishna's wife and their kids and a few of the members had left for Alaska, while others went to the People's Temple.
There is a very scary-ass serial killer from Alaska, Israel Keys. Just saying. Also, did you see People's Temple?
I did.
Another cult! Love it!
For those of you that don't know, the People's Temple was run by Jim Jones. Now, to get to the spooky part, before we wrap things up, quick old fun fact. Homeboys Ghost Adventures have been to Cave Hollow.
Of course.
I saw the episode years ago when it came out. Unfortunately, I could not find the episode to watch because we live in fucking Canada and you cannot find shit here on the interwebs. So this is a PSA to Zach Baggins, and you need to fucking let us Canadians watch Ghost Adventures on Netflix or some other shit, eh, bud?
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. So, what is hauntingly so spooky about Caves Hollow? Is it the forest surrounding the area? The fact that cults used to go in and out of there and use the area for rituals of all sorts? Could it be the energy that the cross gives off? You know, it glows during a full moon, apparently.
Oh.
And legend says if you touch it during a full moon, it will physically burn you.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure Zach Baggins touched it. Because they were there on a full moon. Because it's Zach Baggins.
He touched
Why the
Annabelle.
fuck not? He also opened a Dybbuk box.
Yeah, he has one in his museum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've
Along
been
with
watching
Peggy
that-
the doll.
I know he has Peggy, and he has the Dybbuk box, and he also has the an entire hallway of creepy ass like clowns and carnival toys.
He's got an entire room of dolls too.
Yes, an entire room of dolls, and
You
one
have to
of
sign
them,
a waiver when you go in there.
and one of them looks exactly like Annabelle. Yeah, he has an Annabelle, like a Raggedy Ann doll.
Mm-hmm.
But me and Ron have been watching that baking show that he's hosting.
Yeah.
And every episode he shows a different part of his
Ooh.
his
I haven't seen it
his
yet.
museum.
I don't have cable.
So then you get to see, because he's like, this is what is inspiring your cake, is this thing. And it's like, oh.
I need to see this.
And at one point, he sent them all pieces from his museum to include in their cakes. And the one was this cutting board that just like broke in half by itself.
What?
And it was shaped like a pig.
Yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
There's some weird shit that goes on there. Zach Baggins, real quick tidbit, guys. He's got a movie called Demon House. Have you seen it?
No.
No, you got Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on there.
For free.
Yes.
Because half of Prime isn't.
I'm pretty sure it's
Okay.
free. If not, you can watch it on YouTube.
Okay.
I found it on there.
Text me.
Anyways, it's creepy once more towards the end. Because for once, Zach actually is the one being locked in somewhere.
Oh.
Anybody else
Not Aaron?
in Ghost Adventures. Actually, I don't even remember Aaron really being in this movie, to be honest. But it's about a house that he ends up purchasing in, I don't know if it's Idaho or if it's Iowa. One of those states. But it's a haunted house, and he buys it. And he actually has buckets of the dirt and the stairs from the basement of the house in his museum.
Oh.
And there was some it was creepy. But Nick and I watch it all the time. We're like, oh, we're bored, let's watch Demon House. But anyways, could the spooky factor be the fact that there have also been 2 suicides on the property?
Including
What?
the other murders? Is one of those
What?
suicides the guy that killed himself with his wives?
Well, that's just a legend.
Okay.
It's just a legend. These suicides actually happened. They're
Okay.
documented. Or at least, I know for sure the one is. One is a soldier who was having an extremely hard time with addiction and withdrawal after returning from overseas.
Aww.
And the other was a man who had hung himself in a tree near the cross. Yeah. Was found by his friend in the area.
Aww.
Yeah. There have been shadow people seen in the area. Spirits, orbs, and lights have been seen throughout the bushes. People chanting have been heard. Others have seen werewolves running around. Some eyewitness accounts have seen spirits crawling out of a well that's located on the property.
Okay, the ring.
Right?
Samira.
And, like, I literally wrote there's a creepy ass well inside of the woods. There is white writing on the well. And apparently it's, like, to me, it looks like a spray painted pentagram. But the tour guides say that the spirits had drew markings on it.
Huh.
A hooded man has been seen on the property. It's known to watch silently and just disappear.
Okay.
Some people think he is the responsible one for the disappearance of young lovers that try to shag on the cross. You know what I'm saying?
Gross.
That was like some Hook urban legend.
Classic.
Yeah. Classic. Howls and growls have been heard all over the property.
Well, that's the couples having sex.
Right?
Oh.
And the Ghost Adventure crew actually heard a growl caught near a gate that isn't too far from the well.
Okay.
And it's actually caught on audio, and you can hear it during the episode.
Okay.
Ooh, cat hair.
Delicious.
So, a few fun facts before we wrap up. It costs $20 in US or $28 Canadian to go see the cross.
Okay.
Why pay? Because it's cheaper than a trespass and church.
That's fair and valid.
Yep. And it's also a lot cheaper than a hospital fee from the rough terrain trying to get to specific areas that are not path accessible.
Oh, yeah, because you friggin' Americans gotta pay to go to the hospital. We
Yeah.
don't. Hey, Canada, 1 point.
You can only pay in cash.
Sketchy.
Right.
Let's write this all off the books. The IRS won't know.
Some people believe that the Kingstons were the ones who, like the ones who had built the cross, were the ones that blew it up. They currently have tours and haunted attractions for the Halloween season right now by the local paranormal groups and tours in the area. Every year for Halloween, the burnt down house on the property is turned into a haunted attraction by the local paranormal tours. There is a 2-part series of a paranormal group called Ogden Paranormal on YouTube. And if you want, you can check out their investigations. And it has like their investigation inside of Kay's Hollow and at Kay's Cross. What their experiences were like. They heard some growls, weird noises. It was kind of creepy. I only watched the first half, but there's 2 parts. And they also have like an information video, which was one of the videos I watched when I did this research. But I don't know about you. I, again, think a lot of it is just urban legend. I do believe, like, the cults and stuff happened there. I don't know if I necessarily believe that it's haunted. Because, to be honest, I found more cult information than I did...
Satanic.
Yeah, like, satanic cult information than I did, like, paranormal stuff. Right? So, I don't know if it's actually haunted. I think it's a place that I need to go to experience myself. To see if it's haunted. I thought it was, like, I've seen other videos and paranormal groups go in there, and they've all had some pretty interesting experiences. Ghost Adventures was entertaining when I watched it years ago. I don't really remember much. Other than, like, Zach touching the cross and shit. But, I don't know what your thoughts are.
I don't really know. I really liked learning. I really enjoyed learning about how those 3 cults are, like, kind of interconnected in a way.
Yeah, somewhat intertwined. Because, like, even before I knew the cult stuff in Kay's Hollow, Krishnaventa was a name that I had heard, but I didn't know where from. And it's probably because of Manson.
Who you really love.
I do like the Manson case. But it's probably because he had actually somewhat repurposed his ideas.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I really thought that it was, like, something else. Which I will discuss more when I cover the case. My Manson theories. And such. But I think it's neat that Manson, like, probably one of the more famous cult leaders
Oh, 1,000%.
is, somehow oddly third cousin connected to my favorite cult, which is Jonestown.
Mm-hmm.
Or, sorry, People's Temple. But I covered yours first, which is
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate, the creepy alien one. But Jonestown is by far my favorite kind of cult that I've learned about. It's one of those ones that I just seem to always go back to. But Manson and, that whole thing is probably the second one that I do the most kind of reading and learning about and stuff. His followers are very fascinating to me. Mm-hmm. Just their commitment. And
right? The dedication they fucking have.
Especially Sadie. Oh my god.
Woo!
But, the kind of hauntings sort of thing, I think it could be a lot to do with the whole urban legend of there being, 8 bodies, that kind of, the murder-suicide thing that happened there. I mean, if I had heard forever that, your front yard, in front of your tree there, that at one point there used to be 6 bodies buried underneath of it and a dude hanging from it.
Yo, you don't think I wouldn't have a camera pointing on that tree 24/7 if I...
But I'm saying, if I knew that there was a place like that, I would be like, no, bad juju, no. Mm-hmm. So it's probably a lot from something like that.
I think a lot of it's just, because there were cults there, and that went in there and hung out in the area, and especially because the cross was dedicated to a cult leader. I think a lot of it is just, a game of telephone, and eventually it's just more stuff added to the story. Like I said, I need to go there and experience the area for myself to see what I feel, what I see and hear. Because you guys know I'm a believer, but you also know I like to see both sides of the story as well.
Flipping me off.
Oh, no, I didn't even notice. I was just chilling. I'm just chilling.
I'm a believer, just so you know.
Believer. I can't believe it. But yeah, that's... Yeah.
I'm fancy today.
And I mean, I'm sure with the ghost tours, it probably makes it creepy. They deck it out for Halloween and shit. Yeah.
I could see it.
It's kind of like in our area how we have our local urban legend, right? Or how St. Catharines, Ontario has the Screaming Tunnel.
Or Hamilton, is it, that has all of those ghost tours?
Hamilton does have ghost tours. Toronto has ghost tours. Niagara has ghost tours. There's even one in Cambridge. Yeah. There's a lot.
Our courthouse is haunted.
Yeah. But yeah, so what do you have for us this week, Kendrah?
Well, for week 4 of Spooktober, I chose to tell you all about the Liske family.
The Liske family. This name sounds familiar.
You might know it. So the infamous Liske family consisted of mother Susan Liske, stepfather/father William E. Liske, 16-year-old Devin Griffin, 23-year-old Derek Griffin, and 24-year-old William Liske Jr.
Okay.
So on Halloween in 2010, I'm actually pretty recent for once. Mm-hmm. I find I stick with really old cases a lot. In Benton Township, Martin, Ohio, at around 1:30 in the afternoon, Devin Griffin returned home after performing in his Sunday morning church service. He decided to go play some video games in his bedroom. Then noticed that the house was extremely quiet, which he found kind of odd.
Oh, that's so odd. Why is the house so fucking quiet?
His mother was usually awake by then and cleaning the house. So he decided to try and look for his family around the house. He entered the master bedroom and noticed that his parents were still in bed with the covers pulled above their heads. He was talking to them hoping that they'd wake up and noticed
when he got to his mother's side of the bed that her foot was sticking out from the blanket. He began tapping on her leg in hopes of getting a response.
I know. Doesn't she know the demons will grab her toes?
When she didn't respond, though, he pulled down the covers and saw his mother's blood-soaked pillow.
Oh, no.
At first, he thought it was some sort of Halloween prank, and he later told authorities that it looked like a joke from a Halloween party. But once he realized that it wasn't a joke or a prank, he ran from the house in tears and called his aunt for help. When she arrived, she immediately called 911. When police arrived, they found Susan and William Sr. shot to death in their bed, and William Sr. had been shot a total of 5 times.
Oh.
In just his head.
Shit.
Susan had been raped and then shot 3 times.
Oh, God.
Police continued to search the home, and when they arrived at Derek's bedroom, it was locked. They kicked the door down and found Derek curled up into a ball, facing the wall, also dead.
Oh, shit.
The coroner later determined that Derek had died of blunt force trauma to the head and likely died within minutes of the first blow. Is that Lily crying, or is that...
That's Levy's with her ball.
Okay. Continuing their search throughout the house, police found a bloody claw hammer, which is believed to be the weapon that killed Derek. They also found muddy footprints on the deck near the family pond. They assumed that the gun would be in the lake, so they had it drained, but no weapon was found. There were no apparent signs of a struggle throughout the entire house either. William Liske Jr. was immediately a suspect, arrested, and charged with the murders of his family. Devin had spent the previous night at his biological father's house, and when he went home before church to get his church clothes, he stated that he had seen his stepbrother, William Liske Jr., at the house that morning, but hadn't thought anything of it. During his interviews, he said that he had come home around 9:30 to get changed, and he was at the house less than 5 minutes, and had only seen William. He also stated that William seemed much happier than his usual self when they had interacted. William was kind of known to be a dark and gloomy sort of person. And then suddenly, he was very cheery.
Oh.
Now, if we take a look back at William Jr.'s past, he was kind of a troubled young man. In 2002, William Sr. had called the police on William Jr. because he had been threatening to harm himself. He was on house arrest at the time, and William Jr. then attacked the officers when they arrived and faced charges in juvenile court for assault on a peace officer. Then, in 2004, William Jr. had gotten into a fight with his stepmother and hit her in the chest. 2 months later, he stole Susan's car keys and hit her with a mug, and he was charged with felonious assault and robbery. He pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity, and the charges were dropped when he was found too incompetent to stand trial. William was kicked out of the house by his father when he was 18 after he had attacked Susan in the shower. William eventually moved to a group home for mental health patients, and while there had been at least 3 different encounters with police involving William Jr., including once when he got into a physical fight with his father. William Sr. loved his son, though, and never once gave up on him, despite his behavior. In 2006, he actually filed for guardianship, and he was trying to get him into proper housing and have him stay on his medication.
Makes sense.
In 2007, William Jr. was hospitalized for schizoaffective disorder bipolar type. Now, according to Healthline.com, schizoaffective disorder is a rarer type of mental illness. It's characterized by symptoms of both schizophrenia and symptoms of a mood disorder. This includes mania or depression, and the 2 types of schizoaffective disorder are bipolar and depressive. Episodes of mania occur in the bipolar type.
Oh, interesting.
Now, the week before the murders, William Sr. took some vacation time and took William Jr. on a deer hunting trip.
Oh, that's nice.
They returned home less than 24 hours before the murders. Once they had returned home, the pair got together with some friends and went out for some beers. William Jr. was allowed to spend the night at the house because the pair had been drinking, and his father didn't want to drive William home while drunk.
Makes sense.
Yeah, the couch was made up for him. So after William was seen at the house by Devon, he stole the family's Ford F-150 and drove it back to the hunting cabin where he was at with his father. This is where he was found when police arrested him. At first, he was held on a $1 million bond and only charged with his father's murder. When charged with all 3 murders, it changed to a $3 million bond.
Damn.
In 2011, William Liske Jr. pled guilty to 3 counts of aggravated murder. Before sentencing, William apologized for killing his family and blamed mental illness and Satan for his actions.
That's Satan. Such a bad influence, man.
Because of his plea, he was not given the death sentence, and he was instead given 3 life sentences without parole. On March 31st, 2015, though, William was found dead in his cell from a self-inflicted injury. He was 29.
So young. It's our age.
So I got a little bit of trivia. Neighbors had suspected William Jr. of killing and torturing neighborhood pets.
It's Michael Myers shit.
A neighbor's dog was actually shot twice.
Not the dog.
William Sr. had told his best friend that he believed that William Jr. would never hurt them. Which, happens to be the case a lot. They never fear them. It reminds me a lot of Adam Lanza's mother.
Well, especially because he was diagnosed with a mental illness. So, it's like they know he's a little aggressive and they can deal with it, but they're just in denial that, like, he could do anything more. And it's hard because I'm not blaming the illness or any parties involved, but, like, you don't know how it's going to happen, especially with medication and when you're trying medication, how you're going to react. Everyone reacts different,
Yeah.
Not that I'm, like, trying to use, like, his illness as, like, a reason why he did it, but, like, at the same time, he's schizophrenic. I kind of understand.
So, also, too, a neighbor later stated that she had heard what sounded like gunshots around 6:30 a.m., but apparently didn't report it. And her husband was William Sr.'s best friend. William Sr. was often called Bill, and William Jr. often went by BJ.
Interesting.
Derek didn't go drinking with William and his stepfather because he and William didn't get along, which is suspected as to why he murdered Derek, because they already didn't get along. The reason he killed his father, I didn't really find that, but the reason that he killed his mother, the reason that I kind of found was basically his father and mother got divorced. He remarried to Susan, and Susan tried to impose order on the house, and William didn't like that. And, I mean, history, he's already attacked her a bunch.
Yeah, I was going to say he's really got a out-in for his stepmom.
Yes. So William was at the cabin for less than an hour before police found and arrested him. It was suspected that William may be just full-on schizophrenic. And lastly, William would often stop taking his meds because he felt okay, then would begin drinking and smoking pot. By the way, there's nothing wrong with smoking pot. Like, I don't have issues with it, but if you have schizophrenia, it can cause severe episodes.
Yeah. That's just the cat having the zoomies. Yeah, it definitely increases hallucinations and everything. It's
people with schizophrenia just should not smoke pot, like, at all. It can also basically trigger schizophrenia if you've never had an episode before.
Yep.
And it's in your system, and then it can basically be that starter button.
Yep.
I think we've talked about that on here before, though.
I think we have, yeah. It basically is like it's like the big red button
Yeah.
Right.
So that's my case.
I'm pretty sure I've heard it before because the name is very familiar, like his name.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was really interesting, though. Really interesting. That sucks that everything ended so badly. Especially because, you know, he wasn't well.
Yes.
But, yeah.
Yeah. It was sad because, you know, he hadn't really had a great... Nope, none of that came out right. Words. It does suck that, you know, he clearly struggled with his mental illness. And, I mean, he did eventually commit suicide and stuff. But at the same time, you know, he murdered his family, so you can't really feel all that bad.
Yeah, like, I don't, like, pity him. Like, he did murder his family.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, it was an undiagnosed, well, not undiagnosed, it was a diagnosed illness that wasn't being treated properly if he was not taking his meds all the time and mixing narcotics in with that. So I can understand why he kind of snapped.
I think the thing that I find the most interesting about this case, though, is that Devin came home after the murders had been committed, and William let him go. He had the opportunity to kill him, too.
Maybe he wanted to get caught.
Or maybe Devin was the only one in his family he liked.
Maybe.
He was the youngest. You know.
Maybe. It's hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to say.
But, you know, he had the opportunity.
He's still guilty. Yeah, he still did it. And whether he killed 3 or more, right?
And sadly,
still very sad.
Sadly, now Devin has to live with that image of his mother for the rest of his life.
Especially because, like, he's still probably pretty young. He's probably around our age now. So, Levy's shaking. But yeah.
26, he'd be.
Yeah, so a little bit younger than us. But alright, guys, that I think that wraps up this week. One more week of Spooktober.
Yes, our best ones are coming.
Yes. So excited. And then we got November with a few little surprises in there for you guys. And then we had, what were you calling it, Kendrah? What were you calling December?
Deck the Hells.
Deck the Hells. For some reason, I wanted to say Death the Heck. I don't freaking know.
Deck the Hells. I don't know where it came from, but it just... We'll think of something more clever.
Death in the Halls. I don't fucking know. Anyways, good night, guys.
Good night.
Special thanks to Dylan Sears for the theme song and Sally Gunter for the cover art. Support us on Patreon and like, share, rate, and subscribe to us on all of our social media pages and your podcast streaming service. Do you have any personal stories or suggestions for the show? Email us at bloodgutsandbooze@gmail.com.